Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So as you can see on the table today, I've got my 2015 Lifan Pony 100cc bike. Now I've done a few videos on this in the past. Some of them are back a ways. So for you guys that are new, or if you don't want to go back and look at the old videos, I'll just give you a real quick update on this. Honda produced a bike that was for Japan market only called the Honda Ape 100cc. I really don't know what years it was produced, but it never came to the United States unless somebody brought one over. And then in 2015, Lifan, who is somehow connected with Honda, I don't know what the connection is, but Lifan clones a lot of Honda stuff. Lifan came out in 2015 with this bike, which is a copy or a clone of the Honda Ape. And there was a lot of chatter on the internet forums. I think we were using planetminis.com at that time. Somebody started a thread on these, wanted to know about it, wanted to know if anybody had bought one or anything. And so for a couple months, people were kind of talking about them, maybe even a few weeks, maybe not even a couple months. And, well, Mike decided to pull the trigger, and I bought one. And it's actually bike number 3 from the serial number. I may very well have bought the first one that came to the United States. I'm not 100% sure on that. But it is bike number 3. And so I bought it. It was $999. Got it from a dealer out of Tennessee, but I don't even remember the name. And they shipped it to me. And originally, it had a white tank with some really awful graphics, had some bad graphics on here. I think I have pictures. I'll try and pull up a picture and maybe post it on here. And the very first thing I did, well, okay, let me back up just a little bit. So on Planet Minis, we did a whole huge thread on unboxing it and putting it together, and just like I've done on the Ice Bear and the Amigo here on YouTube now. And a few other people bought them. And I think they only shipped them to the United States for a couple of years. And I think they still might send them to like Vietnam or someplace like that. I'm not really 100% sure. Anyway, so one of the first things I did was took off the graphics. I painted the tank red to match the red stripe. Had that for a few years, and that was really the only mod I did. Then, I don't know, it was maybe a year or so ago, I pulled it back out. It's only got like 300 miles on it. Rode it for a couple summers and then didn't really ride it much. A year or so ago, I pulled it back out, painted the tank black, just kind of murdered it out a little bit. And what got my interest in working on it again was actually Terry Burley, who has a YouTube channel, CT Heaven, Instagram page, all that kind of stuff. He was building a Z50, and he was using a tail light. And one of the things I never liked on this bike was that back end. It was just like the Ice Bear and the Amigo. They had this really ugly plastic fender extension thing that came down here. And I just really didn't like it, but I didn't know what to do with it. Well, then I saw Terry, who had put a tail light on a Z50. So I'm going to shut you down. I'm going to bring you to the back of the bike. All right, so like I was saying, the back end originally had an extension plastic that came down, and it had this great big tail light that sat right in here someplace, and then it actually extended down past that. And then right here was like this fake little tail light looking thing. And you could just tell, said, man, that would look really neat if it didn't have, if you could turn that into a tail light. But I wanted something that fit it and looked correct. Well, like I said, a year ago, I was watching a video or saw on Instagram or something, Terry Burley, and he used this tail light bracket that's got the license plate and it had this light. He used it on a Z50. And I'm like, dude, where did you get that? That looks just like the same shape of this fake piece that's on this bike I've got. And he provided me, I think it was an eBay link, if I'm not mistaken. And so I picked one up. I bought one. And sure enough, it had the same bolt pattern, everything. So I took this out. I had to trim. This piece of plastic here has actually been trimmed down. And like I said, there's video. I think I have video on it if you want to go back and watch it. And I cut all this off and just unplugged the tail light and was able to plug this one in all up in here. And so it actually has a tail light, brake light, and then each side has turn signals. So I was able to get rid of the big gaudy turn signals that this bike had also. Just kind of streamlined it. And so that, I've said all of that to get you to what I want to do today, which is get rid of those big turn signals. One of the last things I want to do on this bike is it's got these turn signals that just stick way out there. And I'm trying to streamline the bike, make it as narrow as possible. And since I got rid of the ones on the back, I want to get rid of the ones on the front. And what I bought is, I bought this off of Amazon, and there's some little LED turn signals. If I can get it close enough for you to see it. Okay. And I think what I'm going to have to do to get them to mount, this bracket that comes off of the side right here, these turn signals mount. I think I'm going to wind up cutting off that down turn because these mount, I should have taken them out of the package. These mount horizontally, mount flat. So I think I'm just going to mount them. I'm going to drill a hole and just mount them straight to that. Now, I don't know if I'm going to run into the problem when you change to LED turn signals. They may, if you're not aware, sometimes when you change to LED turn signals, if you don't use the right flasher or put a diode in a line, when you turn a turn signal on, it backfeeds and all of them flash like hazards. We may run into that. I don't have that problem now with just the back LEDs, and I would show you, but I got a dead battery. So the first thing I have to do is take the seat off, and I've got a battery that's charging over here, and I got to change the battery, get the seat off, change the battery, and then I'll show you what the back tail lights look like, and then we'll start the process of taking out these front ones. All right, so I've got the seat off. I've got the battery disconnected. I'm 90% sure. Oh boy, and I'm unplugging tail light. I'll make sure to keep that. Oh, where'd that one plug from? Well, we may have to go back and figure out what we... Didn't give us a lot of extra wire here. It reaches, but barely. Let's see if we can sneak this battery out. I'm curious to see. I believe this is the original battery I put in here in 2015. Yep, I'm going to lose all this wiring back here. So give me a second before I unplug all of these, because, you know, this tail light that I put on here, obviously the colors don't match the wiring harness. I'm going to make a little schematic here so I know what wires go to what wires, so I don't have to sit down and take all the time to figure it out again. Give me just a second. Okay, I think I've got this all figured out now, so I'm just going to go ahead and unplug the wiring harness to get it out of the way. I'm letting the camera roll because I really want to see August of 14, that battery. Yeah, so that's the original battery from when I got this bike and set it up. So, cool. It lasted a long time. It still turns the speedometer on, but as soon as you try and hit the key or hit a turn signal or anything, it just it shuts everything down. So it just doesn't have much juice. So, all right, I'm going to put the other battery in it, plug all this back in, put the seat back on, and then we're going to move up to the front turn signals. And, well, I'll show you what the back looks like, and then we will move up to the front and start taking those off. Well, before I put the seat on it, let's make sure we've got it wired correctly. All right, we've got 276 miles on this, so... Uh-oh. No brake? We've got a handbrake, but no foot brake. Do we have turn signals? Yeah, got a left turn signal and a right turn signal. Huh. What, I wonder, oh, well, you know what? I wonder if I had the brake wire pinched. Nope. Well, isn't that a bummer? I'm going to have to, got another project to do. I got to figure out why the foot brake light isn't working. And what it is, it's a switch that's part of the, it's got disc brake on the back. It's part of the disc brake. Well, shoot, something else to look at. There is a plug that I'm wondering if I didn't unplug it when I was putting that battery in. Well, it seems like it's tight. Nope, there, that was it. There we go. All right, easy fix. Yeah, when I put the battery in, the wiring from the foot brake comes up through the frame in front of the battery, and I must have pushed it and unclipped the little bracket there. Oh yeah, now we're good. Okay, let's move up to the front and work on why we work on the turn signals, which is what we originally started to do in this video. I've taken a good long look at this, and I can't figure out how to get this headlight off to get in to unplug this wiring. But these don't have plugs on them anyway. They're just loose ends. So I think what I'm going to do is just, this looks like it's got plenty of excess. I think I'm just going to cut that, tie that onto there. I've got the one I want for this, is the one for the other side. Hang on just a second. So I don't know if you can see it. See how it's kind of got it's flat and it's got a little mounting hole. I think what I'm going to do is take this bracket off and just mount it right to that bracket and put it right back on there like that, and just mount them right there so that they just barely stick out. First, I got to figure out this thing. These came with 0 instructions. It's got 3 wires. So these do maybe one for hazards and one's a ground and one's turn signals. I don't know. I'm gonna play with it for a minute, hook it to some power, see if I can figure out what the wiring is. Each one of them has 3 wires, a black, a red, and a yellow. I wonder if one is meant to just be running lights, And the other one turn signal and one's a ground. I don't know. I might have to play with it for a minute. All right, so the best I can tell is that the black wire is ground and the red light, or the red wire produces a little brighter light than the yellow wire. So we're going to use the black and the red to get the brightest turn signal possible. If that doesn't work, then we'll back up and punt and try something else. I probably should have gotten I'll strip that way back farther than I wanted to, but oh well, we'll get it to work. We're just going to wire it up here real quick and see what we think. Okay. So I got a green and an orange, which that's Honda colors there. That's kind of interesting. We're going to hook the green to the black and the red to the orange. And let's see if we get a turn signal here. Keep everything from touching anything else. All right, I think you guys can probably see that. Let's turn it on. It's the speedometer has to cycle through. All right, there we go. All right, let's turn the left turn signal on. There we go. Yeah, it's working in the back. So that works pretty good for me. Let's go around and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side, and then I will bring you back when I get ready to turn it on, and we're going to see if they actually flash or if when I put all four of them, it goes into hazard mode. So I'm going to switch to the other side and do the exact same thing on the other side. Alright, so I think we're going to set that there, and maybe you can see that. Let's set this one over here. Maybe you can see that one too. Alright, turn the key on. Alright, let's see what happens now. So I'm going to turn the left one on, so this one should flash, that one should not do anything. Oh, perfect. Good. So even using the LED, and I've even got the indicator up on the speedometers working. Well, let's see if the right one. Yeah. Got it back here. That's working up there. Is it just my imagination? Maybe the angle I'm looking at. Is that one brighter than the other one? No, yeah, it was just the way I was looking at the angle. Okay. Okay, so that is awesome. Turn the key off. So now I have to take the signal off of the bracket. I'm going to cut off this little downturn part here and just leave it flat and drill a hole that I can mount those on. Yep, let's do that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I need to take the bracket back off and paint it. I scuffed a little bit of the paint over here on it, but I think I'm gonna like that. It doesn't stick out nearly as bad as those originals, so I just got to do the same thing to the other side. Well, I have to say I like that much better. The way they're just kind of tucked in there, they're dark, they're the same color. They just kind of blend in with the bike. You don't have those great, big, huge signals sticking out. Let's fire this thing up and make sure they work with the engine running. I'll sit on it. You can kind of see just how big the bike is. It's about the same seat height as a CT70. Okay, should I try the electric start? Or is that battery not going to have enough? Let's try it. I'm going to let the speedometer cycle through. Okay, all right, electric starts over here. Fuel, choke. Oh, no, that battery not quite got enough. Really not a very loud bike. Doesn't have a whole lot of It'll do 53, 54. You really get a flat stretch with no headwind. You might hit 55, 56. It's only 100 cc, so it's smaller than the horizontal Lifans. Perfect. She might idle. All right, that was fun. I like it. I want to put plates back on this bike. I want to maybe ride it a little bit this summer. Have it available for somebody else to ride if we go on a ride or something like that. A couple small bikes. So anyway. Appreciate you following along. I just tinkering in my garage, film the stuff that I do. Hope you guys enjoy it. So I will see you on the next video. Later.